Hey, great to be broadcasting out. Okay, so what we're looking at today is a pretty grim kind of a day. But here we are, we've got our little drum contraption, and we've got a couple of plants. We've got the clothesline in the background, and so I think we're all set really. Okay, so the work I'm talking about today is radio work again. I thought we'd stay with radio work because there's been quite a lot of interest in some movie reviews that I've been doing, which I tend to do just as a discursive type of a thing. I really just watch a lot of movies, particularly on the internet. And now that you can see movies pretty well not long after they've come out, this gets interesting. I believe it gets interesting for radio because you can relay what about a particular movie, or how you're feeling about a particular movie. Okay, so the movie I'm talking about right now is one called Most Violent Year. Now that movie is actually from 2014, but I was just scrolling through movies of 2014 and I found it, so I opened it up and I've seen it. Actually started to see it twice, and I've actually looked at or listened to the song at the end called "Oh America." Probably 10 times. It's just such a beautiful song, and so well done. So this movie is worth it's worth seeing for the song. But actually, seriously, it's a very good movie, and the New York Times gave it a good review as well. And I go along with the New York Times. I think that despite its title, "A Most Violent Year," it's not really very violent, so that's not the issue. That's neither here nor there, really. The violence in the movie. Well, I don't think it is. I think what's interesting about the movie is that you have a Colombian man, an Hispanic man, making it in the USA. And it's a version of all of those things of Horatio Alger or whatever. But it's really set in New York, in a situation where you can imagine The Sopranos, or you can imagine New York crime families, and all of that stuff is there, as quite strong Jewish interests, and so our man from Colombia marries into what I think is an Irish family, and his wife, played by Jessica Chastain, very well. It's a very good portrayal by her, as with Oscar Isaac, she takes the lead. These are very good actors. The film's very well shot. Shandor is looking after it. It's very good. Everything about the movie is good. But the thing that is particularly good, I think, is that it's one of the few really solid depictions of an Hispanic person trying to come to terms with the USA, with the United States of America. Obviously, you have a situation where people coming from Colombia are Americans, but the issue of how they are perceived and how they get on, and the morality that they have in a situation such as the New York oil distribution business, is really striking in this movie, because it's a kind of a pragmatic approach but it's also a pragmatic faith that if you take the best course of action available to you consistently, you will win out, or you're doing what you should be doing. And there's all sorts of I guess, caveats that you would want to put on that, but that's what the movie's about. It's also about gender. The Colombian is not necessarily into machismo or anything like that, but he has a very strong sense of family, and Jessica Chastain has a very good sense of the female protectress, which is interesting. She's right into guns. And I mean, that's quite striking that she's into guns, and not striking given that she's, I guess, from America, but it's striking in the sense that she's more into them than he is, and he's a bit of a wuss when it comes to guns, actually. But what you've got with her is her being the protectress in the sense of actually looking after the money and making sure that there's enough money when the chips come down. And part of the fable, the morality tale or fable or whatever this is that instead of having to go to the mafia for money, he actually has enough money because she's been salting the money away unbeknownst to him. So there they are developing this oil distribution business and needing to buy a property, requiring money, going through the hoops of that side of America, which include the law being after them in various ways. This is a very, very good movie, and yeah, I've been saying so on here in Māori and in English. It's quite interesting looking at these movies. This is such a different movie, for example, to Ex Machina, which is the other movie I've been reviewing. Yeah, in a sense, both movies are about power, and I just leave it there. Interesting stuff. You're with Peter Cleve here. Great to have you with us.